I'm going to quick, while the sun is behind the clouds, try to get a video done because I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what I'm doing with these peppers. Last week I told you that I was going to have to use a more potent fertilizer in the areas that had the heavy feeders, the Brussels sprouts, the cabbage, those kind of things in them. And so what I'm doing, I put in some of these beds last week, I used an organic fertilizer. And if you can tell, the big long bed right there that's got the peppers in it, it is struggling. And so I'm planting some more peppers right now, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a non-organic fertilizer. And the one I use, and I'm not telling you anything because I'm, promoting it or not, but this is the one I've always used. It's Osmocote, and I think it's really good. It's you can use it on edible plants, you can use it on your flowers, sometimes, and the thing about it is that it stays longer than just one season. And so I can put it in the greenhouse next winter and it'll be just fine the next summer. And some of those organic fertilizers don't tend to be like that. So these I'm using on these peppers now. And the reason I'm doing that is because they're going in beds that had those Brussels sprouts in them last year. And honestly, I'll probably use it on most of the rest of my plants anyway, just because I'm a little later getting them planted, which we're still having problems with the weather. We had a couple of days right before Memorial Day that we had freeze warnings, and I did have under 30 degrees here at the greenhouse. And then this last week we've had 90 and 95 degree weather, which is very, very unusual for June in my part of the country. And then it's supposed to be like 86 today, and then Tuesday it's supposed to be down to like 70 degrees. It's just the weather in Utah. I'm sorry, it's just kind of different. People joke that you can have all 4 seasons in one day, and yeah, I think you about can. But I just wanted to tell you that maybe as you're putting things in a little bit later, you might have to use a fertilizer that's a little bit more, has a little more oomph in it than those organic ones. And if you can go back and you can look at one of the videos I did last spring about the peppers, or you can just look at what we're doing. We dig the hole, we put a few of these granules of the Osmocote in it. I'm also using some of that, remember, that soil additive, and I put just a sprinkle in that, and then I cover all that up with dirt so that the roots of the plant are not exposed to the fertilizer or to that additive. And I think it just gives them a boost. And you'll notice I've planted these quite close together. And the reason I can do that is because during the season I'm going to continue to feed them. If I was putting them out in a garden and I wasn't going to be doing any additional feeding, but maybe once or twice during the season, I probably would have them, 18 inches apart. But this is just what you can do when you do container gardening, and especially as long as you keep feeding them during the season. So I've got tomatoes I got to get in the ground. I'm waiting for Brianne. She's bringing me some aspirin. And if you don't know why we're putting aspirin in with the tomato plants, I guess stay tuned, because I am going to do another video on it. And if you can't wait, there's one last spring that was on how to plant your tomatoes. And I'm going to talk a little bit when I'm doing the tomatoes, probably today, tomorrow, the first part next week. There's been some individuals that come out and say you do not need to put magnesium in with your tomatoes. Hey, if that's what they think, more power to them. All I know is that when I do put Epsom salts in the bottom of the holes when I plant the tomatoes, they're much bigger, brighter, greener tomatoes. So here we go. I'm going to get the rest of these peppers planted today, and then I'll be back and we'll talk about tomatoes. And Kaylee is supposed to be back tonight too. She's been with her mom all day, and she said, oh, Grandma, we have to do another video. So I guess we'll be doing that. So you guys take care of yourself. I hope you're having fun, and we'll talk to you soon.